So I was thinking about an exercise that I could show my students that didn't get too crazy, that started out pretty simple, taking something that they already were familiar with and kind of going from there. So I came up with this exercise called the inside out exercise. All right, and basically the idea is we take small scale structures and we play them using eighth notes. All right, so let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. First of all, before I do that, let me share my screen with you. And all right, so now you should probably be looking at my neck diagram here. So let me come over here to my scale patterns. So in this video, I'm going to be referring to these scale patterns as numbers, like pattern 1, pattern 2, and so forth. So let's just look at that real quick here. We're going to be doing all this in the key of C. So pattern 1 is what you might call C Ionian. All right, and the reason why I call it pattern 1 is because the modal name really depends on number one, what note you're starting on, and even more importantly, what chord you're playing over. So if you were playing over, say, a D minor 7 and you played pattern 1, in actuality you would be playing a Dorian mode, because the chord determines the sound of the notes that you're playing. And so that's why I give these patterns number names, because it doesn't matter what note we start on or what chord we're playing over, we could agree that, okay, this is going to be called pattern 1, and so forth. So what you might commonly think as the Dorian pattern, that's going to be pattern 2. And I'm going to be including these neck diagrams, all right, with the lesson. And obviously you can move these on other sets of strings, okay, not just on the low E, A, and D. So let me give you a demonstration of what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to be thinking of playing over a 2-5-1, one measure of D minor 7, one measure of G7 or G7 altered, and then 2 measures of C major 7. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to play eighth notes, and we're going to go up one pattern. Alright, so let's start with pattern 4, okay, what you might call the Lydian pattern. But in actuality, if we're playing over D minor 7, okay, or if we're even thinking that we're playing over D minor 7, then technically this is Dorian that we're playing. Okay, but anyhow, so we're going to go up pattern 4, 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then over the G7, to build tension, we're just going to shift down a half step, okay, and we're going to come down the flat pattern 4, as it were. So it's pattern 4 but down a half step, so technically B major. So then we come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And notice the last note that I land on here is an inside note, okay, and it's the beginning of pattern 3. So to begin the next phrase, we're just going to go to the next note in the pattern, which is F, okay, and we're going to go up pattern 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then for the second measure of C major 7, then we're going to land on E, which is the third of C major 7. Alright, so let's listen to how that sounds. I'm going to put this backing track on here. So we got again. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to share my screen with you again, and we're going to walk through this on the neck diagram. So let me fire this up. Alright, so here's what we're doing. We're going up pattern 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then we're shifting down a half step. Okay, we're like if we ended with our middle finger there on the F, and then we're going to shift that down, and then we're going to come down a flat pattern 4, as it were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then we're going to go up pattern 3. Now we're not going to play E again. We're just going to go to the next note in pattern 3, this F, and we're going to go up 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that will be over C major 7, and then the second bar of C major 7 we just land on E and hold that out. Okay, so over the D minor 7 we go up this pattern 4. Over the G7 or G7 altered we come down the flat pattern 4, and that gives us some tension and outside notes. It sounds, you know, really cool. Okay, and then over the first bar of C major 7 we go up 8 notes in pattern 3, and then in the second bar we just land on that E note there. So that's what I did. Okay, so here is the notation for it here in Guitar Pro. Alright, so, and I'll play that. Okay, so you see I go up pattern 3 here, or excuse me, 4, I'm sorry, and then I shift down a half step, come down the flat 4 pattern, then I go to the next note in pattern 3, right there, go up pattern 3, 8 notes, and then land on that E note. Now, let me just park there for a second. The note that we land on is important. We want to land on either a root of C major 7, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th. We could even land on the 9th, which is D, but we want to avoid landing on the perfect 4th, which is F, and the 6th, the major 6th interval, which is A, because they don't sound good, especially the perfect 4th. The F note sounds really suspended. I mean, that's what it is, a suspended 4th. So we want to avoid that. So in example 2, I'm going to go up pattern 3 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, then I'm going to shift pattern 3 down a half step and come down the flat pattern 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now notice this time I land on an outside note. Okay, so now I have to shift down to pattern 2 right here on this D note, and then I go up pattern 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Now this time I'm landing on the root. So that sounds like. Okay, so let me put on the backing track and let's have a listen to that here. So we got sounds good. Alright, so the next example, let me pull that up here. So example 3. Alright, so this time in example 3 we're going to go up pattern 2. Now do you see a pattern happening here? You know, we went up pattern 4 first, okay, and then we went up in example 2 we went up pattern 3. In example 3 we're going up pattern 2, so we're working our way down the neck. Okay, and that's why this portion of the exercise is called the inside out exercise descending, because we're working our way down the neck. Every time we shift, we're shifting downward. Okay, descending. All right, so So in example 3, we go up pattern 2, 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then we're going to shift down a half step. Okay, and then we're going to come down pattern 2, 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, we land on an outside note there, and so we have to shift down to pattern 1. Okay, and then we go up 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we land on the root again. You know, we could have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and landed on the D there, the ninth. You know, or we could have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1 and landed on the major seventh. Any of those would have sounded fine. Okay. Now let me talk about something here. So basically, to go outside, okay, to create tension, we're shifting down a half step. All right, and as you'll see, going through this lesson, that here eventually we're going to shift up a half step to go outside. This concept of shifting either up or down a half step is called half step shifting. It's also called side slipping or sidestepping, and it's a technique used in jazz to build tension. Okay.